Hey folks, Wally DM here, and today we're going to take a look at a puzzle that you could slide into the Dragons of Stormwreck Isle. Now, even if you're not playing this D&D game, you could also put this into your home game. All you're going to need to do is change the names of the planets and possibly the colors, and you can make this fit into just about any system. Now, in today's setup, you're going to see one of my new favorite pieces of terrain in this video, and that is an orrery by Reaper Miniatures, and this was painted by a valued member of our Discord and Patreon member, Thorn. Thank you very much for painting this. It looks fantastic. So this is going to be a simple grid-based logic puzzle that features the inner planets of the Forgotten Realms. If you would like to take a look at the written version of this, and I highly suggest that you do if you're going to run this in your game, then you can download that for free on my website, wallydm.com. I will put a link in the description below. So we have a lot to cover. Let's dig in and get started with today's puzzle. Now, in the Dragons of Stormwreck Isle, our adventuring party would arrive at the Rotunda Ruins, where they would see two kobolds by the name of Mech and Min, and Mech and Min are fighting awesome Sturge. So up to the adventuring party on whether or not they would help Mech and Min fight off the Sturge, and if they do, then the kobolds would be friendly to them. Now, where our puzzle is going to focus on today is the golden sculpture. The sculpture in the center of the rotunda is an astronomical model used for research in centuries past. The sculpture depicts the planet of Toril, which is the world of the Forgotten Realms, its moon Selune, the sun, and 7 other planets, as well as one comet with a very eccentric orbit. Now, a character who studies the sculpture can puzzle out its importance with a successful DC 15 Intelligence Arcana check, and on a success would realize that its current position suggests that the comet will soon pass very close to Toril. Now, as far as the storyline of Dragons of Stormwreck Isle is concerned, the two kobolds who are working for a blue dragonborn wormling by the name of Sparkrender plans to hold his ritual when the comet hits its closest point. So I figured instead of just doing the Intelligence Arcana check to figure out about the comet, why not make this entire part a puzzle? Now, whether or not you're running this for Dragons of Storm King Isle, or if you're just placing this into your own game, what I see happening instead of the golden sculpture already in working order, I would probably put the 4 inner planets out on the ground. So we need to actually put these 4 planets up into the orrery in order for it to work and for the adventurers to get their information. So rather than that intelligence check to be able to determine that comet when it gets to the closest point, we're going to need to put these planets into place, and then once the planets are in the orrery once again, then the model will start to work again, and then they'll be able to ascertain that information. So once the adventurers do end up meeting the kobolds, I think it'd be neat for one of the kobolds to have the instructions, which is going to be the clues to our puzzle, and probably the 2 of them, Mech and Min, are not being able to figure out heads and tails of it. So now it's going to be up to the adventurers to be able to decipher these clues and to be able to put these 4 planets in the correct position. So let's take a look at our puzzle. So this is going to be a grid-based logic puzzle, and we have our 4 planets that need to be put back into the orrery in the proper order, but we also need to know the names of those planets. So as we take a look here, we have our sun, and then we have 4 empty circles, and this is how we're going to work out this puzzle. We've got the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th furthest from the sun. Now, as the puzzle progresses, if the characters want to take these planets that have fallen onto the ground and start putting them into the proper position in the orrery, then they should be able to do so, although they are quite heavy, so I would recommend that a character has at least a strength of 12 or does so with a DC 12 strength athletics check. And again, our kobolds are the ones that have the cryptic instructions on what order these planets go in. So we're going to take a look at all 6 of these clues or the instructions for putting the orrery back together step by step. Now, just as a note, the planets are in 4 different colors. We have white, amber, blue, and gray. We'll use the brown gem to represent gray. So let's get started. Our first instruction says that the blue planet is the 3rd from the sun. So we're going to know that this planet here, or the 3rd from the sun, is going to be blue, although we don't know the name of it. Instruction 2 says Capri is the 4th planet from the sun. So we know that this one is the 4th one from the sun, and the name of this planet is Capri. Clue number 3 says Anadia is closer to the sun than the white planet. So we know that the 4th planet cannot be Anadia. We also know that the white planet will be to the right of Anadia. Clue number 4 says that Koliar is the gray planet. So we have our planets here, and the gray one is going to be Koliar. Our 5th clue says that the planet closest to the sun is not gray. So this is our planet closest to the sun. We know that this one is not gray. And our final instruction says that Toril is not the closest planet, nor the 4th planet from the sun. Toril is, however, further away from the sun than the amber-colored planet. So we know that the 1st planet is not Toril, and we know the 4th planet is not Toril. We also know that the amber planet will be to the left of Toril. So Toril is going to be further away from the sun than the amber planet. So with all of our clues that are given, do you know how to solve the puzzle? I'll give you a second if you'd like to figure it out. Did you get it? Great. Let's go over the answer. So again, this is a logic-based grid puzzle, so it is going to require some pen and paper. This isn't something that you can really do in your head. You're going to need to map this out like we have here, and then you're going to have to go through the process of elimination. So step 1, we're going to take a look at our first planet. We already know that the planet cannot be gray, but this planet can also not be white. And the reason that we know that is because of clue number 3 that says Anadia is closer to the sun than the white planet. So if Anadia is closer to the sun than the white planet, then that means that the white planet cannot be the first one, because then Anadia would not be able to be closer. So this one is not white, it is not gray, it is also not blue, because blue is the 3rd one. So our first planet that is going to be closest to the sun is going to be the amber colored planet. We can now fill in the color for the 2nd planet because we know that Koliar is the gray planet. Therefore, we can determine that the gray planet, or Koliar, is going to be the 2nd planet closest to the sun. This is because the first one is amber colored, the 3rd one is blue, and the 4th planet is Carpri. And since we already know that Koliar is gray, that means that Carpri cannot be gray. So that just leaves the 2nd planet to be gray, and this is going to be Koliar. And now, since we know that the first planet is amber, the 2nd one is gray, and the 3rd one is blue, then that is going to let us know that the 4th one is going to be white. Now, we had already discussed that Toril cannot be the 4th planet or the 1st, so that means that Toril is either going to be the 2nd or 3rd planet, and since the 2nd planet we already know is Koliar, then that means that the 3rd planet is going to be Toril. And that only leaves one planet name left to discover, and that is going to be Anadia. And since we already know that this is Koliar, Toril, and Carpri, then this one is going to be Anadia, and we have solved our puzzle. So our amber planet will go closest to the sun, followed by the gray, the blue, and the white. And not only that, but we know the 4 planets and their names as far as the Forgotten Realms setting. So what happens when the characters put all 4 of the planets back into the orrery? Well, the orrery is going to start to spin again, and I think it would be really neat that once it starts to spin, that the comet will come from the outer rings, and it will collide into Toril, and when this happens, perhaps a secret compartment will open up in this metal planet, or this metal orrery, and it could provide a weapon that the characters could use in their final battle against Sparkrender, or whatever villain they may be coming up against. Now, if the players start to struggle with this logic puzzle, there's 4 possible history checks that would give them some more information. I would allow them a DC 15 intelligence history check to be able to ascertain one of the following, and it'll be up to you as a GM as to which clues you give. One of the possible clues is Koliar was a city of clouds, and this will be indicated by the gray planet in the orrery. The second one is Toril is 60% water, and that's going to be represented by the blue planet. The third clue could be that the ice caps of Carpri are vast, and that's represented by making this planet white. And the fourth is the equator region of Anadia is unlivable because it's so hot and close to the sun, and that would give Anadia an amber or yellowish color. So this is a simple grid-based logic puzzle, and again, you can run this in the Dragons of Stormwreck Isle, or you can change around the colors and names of the planets to fit your homebrew world. So be sure to leave a comment below and let me know if this is something that you could use in your game, and if so, what would you do differently? Thank you very much for watching, and on to the next.